Well, hello, campers. Welcome along to our live with me. I hope we all had a great weekend. I certainly did. And well, I'm back out in the shed tonight to turn a piece. And I was saying to Doug before we come on there that this piece, I'll bring Doug in and then I'll tell you. There he
Hello.
is.
Hello, boys and girls.
So Doug has said hello, so we'll put him back in the background.
Bye.
Okay, so I have a piece of beach here on the lathe, and I bought this way below 4 Christmas, and it's 2 inch by 7.5 inches, and it's a nice. We got bought stuff for the club, and we've seen the planks we were getting. These were 10 feet by just over 8 feet. By the time you take the roundness out of it and stuff, for £40, and I managed to get 10 blanks out of the one 10-foot length, which was right and good. So I bought some of that, and that's nice. Anyway, enough of that. What am I going to do, Paul? So you can say it's a bow blank, so there's no surprises there. But what I haven't done before is use gold leaf. So we're going to do a wee bit of texture on the rim of this and put a wee bit of gold leaf on it. Now, I don't know if it'll work or not. I had a wee go yesterday and on just a normal rim and made a few mistakes, but I'm saying that I know where we're not wrong, so you don't rub it too much or you'll rub the shine and leave marks in it. So anyway, it's new to me, and I got this gold leaf away before Christmas, and it's been sitting in my drawer here for yonks, and I came across it, and here's me. Wait, that's the very thing I'm going to use. So we're going to do that. So what I'm going to do with this, you can see it's rounded, but it's been like that for a long time. Away before Christmas, I rounded those blanks up, and it's been sitting, so it still is. It's not properly turned to the round, and I need straightened up both sides. I was planning on doing something with these, and that's why I brought them down to the round. So um, uh, I'm not going to do that anymore. So I'm going to use one of these blanks for tonight, and I have it mounted on a worm screw, and there's a tenon. I'll probably have to recut that because it was done ages ago. So I'm going to true up the face of this and true up the outside of it. And while I'm doing that, Doug will tell me who's in the night.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We got a pretty good looking group in tonight. Tell you what. Um, and I'm going from the chat. So if I miss you by chance, do at the bottom there, go ahead and put in, say something so I can come back and acknowledge that you're here. Be glad to do that. First off in my list is Jennifer's Craft and Creations. Good to see you, Jennifer. Then we have Paul Finley. I don't know who that guy is. There's a Door 60 in. Hi, Door. Malcolm Douglas is in. Brian of Heartwood Turning. Good to see you, Brian. Hadn't seen you in a while, other than over on Terry's Terry's lives. So good to see you. Let's see. William Kenny is here. Mike Evans is here. Roger Kent. Go right on down the list. Brian Best is in. Hi, Brian. Let's see. Mike Evans, Roger Kent. We've said William Kenny is in. Hi, William. I think I said you too. Dale at Old Man River Woodturner. Good to see you, Dale. Matt Iverson. Good to see you, Matt. Todd at Glencoe Woodworks. Glad to see you today, Todd. Albert Dawson is in. Am I at the bottom? Do 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 do. I seem to be at the bottom of my list. So if I missed you, feel free to say something and I'll call your name out. Glad to have everybody in today.
Well, welcome along, everyone. So I'll just put
Cap
the outside of
K.
that up, and we're just going to turn our bottom off our bowl here. And I like to true up the two sides here, so it gives you an idea of what you're working with. It's not running around on true. I just nipped a wee bit off that side. Right, so we're going to start and shape the bottom of this. So let's see, I'm on the right camera. That's good.
All right. Don't know if you heard
Okay.
me. Cap K has come in and joined us. Glad to have you, Cap.
Welcome along. I'll just put the face of that up. Now you'll see a recess in that. I normally don't do recesses, but it's in there now, and we'll just go with it. So we want to start to turn some of this timber away from the underside of the bowl. So there's a number of ways you can do it with a pull cut, or you can go with a push cut and just gradually nip away at it. Just stop the
Johnny
blade
Foster. Johnny
and
Foster has joined us.
move our
Glad
tool rest in.
glad to have you, Johnny.
You're better off going with a push cut if you can get it. Just want to remove some of this here. We're going to make a wee foot for that to sit on. So we still need to take some of this away.
Paul Norfolk has joined us. Hello, Paul. Same as uh, Pete. Twisted Pete of the Trees has joined us. Good morning, Pete. Good to have you with us.
Welcome along, guys. So I'm just blending all my cuts in so we can get a nice finishing cut around that. So I've got the full gouge right down low on the very top of the wing. Just bring that round.
Haley Wooden Burl has joined us. Hello, Haley. Chris Charlton has joined us as well. Glad to have you, Chris.
Stop that and have we look to see what that's like. And that's a lovely piece of beach.
It sure is. You got a nice cut on that too.
There's no tear out at all on it.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, part of that is you've got a good sharp tool, and you took
Yep.
your time making that curve. It's not you didn't rush through it, so makes a big difference.
Yep. So I'm just going to reposition this recess because it didn't. It has moved from I originally turned it.
For Pete and all you others who have recently joined us, the wood is beech. It's a very nice piece at that. Very clear. Seems to be cutting very nice as well. Pete asked if this was going to be a spinning top. Could be, Pete. You never know.
A big one.
A big one. One of the main points with this turning, Pete, is going to do a little gilding on it. A little bit of gold leaf.
Okay, so if you're going to do a recess in a bowl, which I don't normally do, I do a panning and then remount it and take it off. One way you can disguise it is to put some lines in it and just make a part of the design. Okay.
Yeah, I like the little double lines. Like them.
Then it doesn't look as bad as somebody turns it over and says, "Ah, it's a recess." Well, it's only wood turners that lift the bowl and say, "Oh, there's that a recess or a choking point." Other, if you're entering a competition, you would normally take that away and leave no visible evidence of the choking point. So just putting a slight bevel on towards the center here on the foot. And I think that's ready for sanding. So
Pete brings up a good point. He says Ruby tells him that we don't get the same beach over here that y'all get there. Um, he says it is a great timber to turn, and most of his real work is beech. Yes, it is a little different. Kind of like sycamore. When y'all say sycamore, it's not the same thing that we have. Um,
right.
also, there was something else. I forget what it is now. Anyway, there's three or four woods that y'all have in the western part of Europe that is different from what we may have the same name, but it's a different wood here. And some woods that are the same that we have different names for. So that's always a possibility.
So starting at 120 here, because it come up nicely with a gouge. So no need to start with 80 grit.
Cap K says he always wanted to go with gold leaf, but was worried it would end up stuck to everything it shouldn't. Brian replied, "It only sticks where you put the size or glue," which is true. Pete says, "I disagree, Brian. Sticks to size and beards."
It flies everywhere.
It does. Cap K said, "Brian, I have bad track record with glue." How do I understand that? Johnny just learned that burl and burr are the same thing. Yes, Johnny, they are. Just a different way of talking about the same kind of a growth formation that some trees have. Oh no, Cap glued himself to the worktop last week. That doesn't sound good, Cap. Hope you had some debonder close by. Terry of Heckington Arts has joined us. Hello, Terry. Glad to have you along.
Hi, Terry. So this will be my first ever. Well, not going to say first. It'll be the second ever piece I've done with gold leaf on it because I had a wee go yesterday with it and made a few mistakes with it, and I'm just going to turn it off that piece and redo it again. I wasn't happy with it, but I know where I went wrong. Or hopefully I'll do. Uh,
Copper Alwood Turning has joined us. Hello, Copper. Glad to have you.
so that was 120, 180 here.
Malcolm said, "Doug, your American holly is lovely and white. Difficult to get that same." I guess he's talking about the same wood here. Um, Holly, even here, yes, it's lovely in white wood. It's been used as imitation ivory for years and years and years. But that lovely, clean, white looking wood does not stay that way very long. You've got to use it pretty quickly, um, get it sealed up good, or spalting sets in, all kinds of stain sets in. Uh, it's quite an
Only
interesting
40.
wood. Spun by Green Jeans has joined us. Hello, Spun by Green Jeans.
Loads of
Robert,
different people coming in tonight.
yeah, Robert Baltwood is in. Glad to have you, Robert. Lucy Sweet Potato Bundy Rowe. I call her Sweet Potato. Hello, Sweet Potato.
Just taking the sharp edge off that foot because it will be nice and sharp.
I've got a gash on my arm right now that'll tell you those edges are sharp. They will cut you.
What have we got on here? 320. And just go in by hand with those wee bits that are close. Sanding pad doesn't get in there, so you need to do it by hand. So it was 320, so 400 is the last. Mm-hmm.
Good to see all that dust going straight down the dust collector.
Yep.
Doing a great job.
Where's
Watched a video the other day, and the fellow went to sand, and dust went everywhere. He must have sucked in a half a pound of dust while he was sanding.
just checking that I've got a nice wee bevel on that, so when it sits on the table and that'll be rocking, it won't rock. Right. We'll get a here's the sand sealer on this. Aye. Everybody's got their own idea of their sand sealer, what way they mix it. I dilute mine 50-50 with cellulose thinners. I use the chestnut product. I just think it's too thick out of the tin, so that's why I thin it down a wee bit. And the other thing is, it lasts a wee bit longer.
If you're mixing it 50-50, it lasts twice as long.
Yep.
Lucy, this is a piece of beech. We're going to turn a bowl and then do a little gold leaf on it. Paul is going to turn a bowl and do a little gold leaf on it. There's no we to it, except it's a wee bit of size and a wee bit of finish and
a wee bit of texture.
Yeah, a wee bit of this and that.
I don't know what way it'll react with a gold leaf with the texture on it. This is an experiment to see if it works or not.
It will.
If it doesn't work, I can turn it off tomorrow.
Right. The trick is not to go super deep with texture.
No,
but it will take the gold leaf.
I'm going to actually sand just a wee bit of it afterwards.
Yeah.
After it's done, so that it's not as rough, but you'll still get those under. What's the word? I can't remember. Well, anyway, there'll be divots in it. They won't be really sharp. So I'll just turn that on.
Undulations. Is that what you're trying to think
Undulations.
of?
That's the word.
Okay.
Yeah. Coming out with all these big words tonight.
Cap has a equipment question. He says, "Do you all have an air compressor? And or two you all that have an air compressor, how often do you empty the tank to clear the water?" Cap, I'm terrible. I've got two air compressors, and I have never. In fact, I just retired one air compressor. Still have two running. I've never drained them. You probably should.
Yeah.
Some people do it every day. Some people do it once a week. Some once a month. It's just getting in a routine, I think, would be the smart thing to do. Somebody else just came in.
Well,
Who
I
was
haven't
that?
done mine
Bailey
for over
Woodworks.
6 months.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bailey Woodworks has come in. Glad to see you, Chris. Chris is going to be the American distributor of the Salisbury colors.
We take the Yorkshire grit here. We're just going to rub that in to the piece. And the speed down, it's going too fast. So we'll just work that into the piece, and this will take any wee fine lines out. It won't take the scratches out, but it'll take wee small.
Yeah. Brian made a good point. He said gold leaf shows every tiny mark under it. Yes.
Yeah.
So if you do texturing, you want a good surface to begin with. Do your texturing and do it cleanly, and touch it up if you need to, and then you can gold leaf. And talking about the compressors, Brian said good habit is weekly. You're exactly right, Brian. That would be a great habit. Roger Kent said every few months.
Well, you see, my compressor's on an underside, and when I finish at night, I just close the door behind me and walk out and forget all
Yeah.
about it. You know.
Yeah.
Uh,
I tend to do the same thing. Um, oh, let's see. Cap said he drained his air compressor. First time ever, much to horror. He got about a pint out of it. That's not bad.
that's not bad.
Todd said Todd said I emptied mine and it looked like chocolate milk. The compressor might be approaching 35 years old.
Oh.
Um, Todd, you might want to empty that a little more often. Sounds like you got some rust buildup.
So we're just
Terry,
removing the excess from
there you
the
go.
bowl. Just use a clean piece of cloth, and when you stop getting transfer onto the piece, you know you have removed all the excess stuff, and then you can apply your finish. So finish is totally personal, whatever you use. I like to use the microcrystalline wax, just for the simple reason that it means I can finish the piece I'm doing on the day. A
Hmm.
lot of people use oil, but you have to wait for it to dry, and then you have to knock it back and apply another coat, and so on. So it takes too long for my liking. But if you're doing a nice piece to sell or something, or enter in the competition, then you don't mind doing that, you know. But for the purposes of a demonstration, you wanna finish it there and then, if possible.
All right. Back to the compressors. Terry said that you should do it once a month if it's got a drain tap. Some don't need draining. He's got one of the new ones that does not need to be drained. That's excellent. I
Okay, so
did not know they did those.
that's the all the excess removed. So we just a microcrystalline wax, just
Oh, and
for
it
the
looks solid.
more solid for once, Doug. During the summer, it was just a pool of goo.
Yeah, yeah. Chris Bailey says that yes, he does have the Salisbury Crafts watercolors in hand. He'll have a shoppable website up this week. That's good, Chris. Let me know when you get that up, please, sir. I want to order some of those colors from you.
So uh, the wax, it says on the tin, you have to give it 10 to 15 minutes to dry and then buff it off. We don't have the luxury of 10 or 15 minutes when you're doing a demo, because what do you do while it's drying? So we're just going to buff it up, and you don't want to apply too much pressure when you're buffing anything up, because you can create friction, which creates heat and can create streaks on your piece, or worse, cracks, depending on the timber you're using.
Lucy's laughing at me the way I pronounce Salisbury Crafts. Well, it's Salisbury, isn't it? Not Berry. I tend to do Berry. I get lazy. Todd said, Lucy, we think y'all speak funny too. Sometimes. Well, I said last week that I had to get used to Paul again. Some of his pronunciations. It's just a matter of getting used to it, and that's all it is. Once we get used to each other, we understand each other quite well.
Right, so that's that. Sanded, polished, and ready to turn around and see what damage we can do to the other side. Right, remember, it's on a screw. I never used the wheat screw at all recently. I've seen more
It's
and more people using it, and then
yeah,
here's
it's
me.
a good tool.
I must give it a go, and I like it now.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll get that on. The other thing you have to watch when you're putting a recess on anything, that there's no cracks visible, and you don't want to expand the jaws too much into the piece, or you know what'll happen, it'll crack. And that's another reason why I don't really do recesses. But saying that,
You've got a nice wide border outside of your recess, though, and that seems to be the ticket. Making sure you've got at least an inch.
yeah,
A little
you
more
get
would be even better. But
plenty to grab onto, because if you leave it,
mhm.
some people say you only need 2 mil of a recess. I don't think so. I would go 4 at the most.
Brian asked, "Why
Cause
do you say y'all instead of you all?" It's you all. Mm-hmm. It's a
you all
contraction of you all, and in the South we just shorten it to y'all.
okay?
There
So
are parts of the. Go ahead, Paul. I'm sorry.
we'll start to take this down, and we want to start the center and work out the outside. I'm not going to take a whole lot away. You want to leave some of the timber in the very center to make it stay stable. Because when you take the sides down, you might find that it starts to move a wee bit when you remove all that timber. I like to take it down a step, working out to the outside of your rim. So I'm just going to clean the face of this up, because we want to uh, do some sort of texture on this. And I'm going to dome this over slightly, raise it.
Rob the Professor has joined us. Michael McEwen has joined us. Um, and Brian's just kind of continuing that conversation. It's interesting, Brian, you bring that up. There are places north of us here. I'm in Kentucky, which is kind of central part of the country, um, called the Midwest anyway. North of us, they say some areas they say you guys. There are other places say you guys. Um, just depends on what part of the country you're in, really. When I hear somebody from New York, they're saying y'all. Um, I know that's a learned thing for them. They don't grow up saying that.
So if we put a wee line in with your parting tool here, it helps to prevent skate back, and it gives you somewhere to start your tool at. Especially if you're doing a design on the outside and you
Mm.
don't want to mess it up. If it skates back on you, you after all the work you put in it, it's
Means you got to do it again.
yep, you got to do it again.
Todd at Glen Cove makes a good point. If you have a big enough crowd, then it becomes all y'all. You're exactly right, Todd. I've said all y'all many times, many times. Chris Charlton.
So I'm just going to get
You,
a quick wee sand, and we'll get the why I'm sanding it now. There will be bits of it that's going to be left lot. I'm not going to texture the whole lot of it. You'll see what I mean in a wee minute. Uh,
Chris Charlton said it wouldn't do if we were all the same. You're exactly right, Chris. You're exactly right. Some of you may have noticed a small change in my voice. I've got a bit of a head cold. Hit me, well, started Saturday night, hit me hard last night. It's getting better today, but not much.
so that's all that needs. Just more, just enough to tidy it up. Now I'm going to take the Prox on angle grinder to it. this wee beastie with this wee thing. Ooh, they're not allowed to sell those no more. It's a dangerous wee article. I bought that some time ago, and this is the second blade that came with it, so may as well use it.
Use it and use it sparingly, right?
Right. Okay, so I'm not looking for any sort of figure or anything. I'm just going randomly, not trying not to go too deep because this thing wants to do its own thing. So you want to hold on to it. And you know, unfortunately, thing about this one, you can't turn the speed down on it. You know. Okay.
The professor
So we
says you
see
can't.
it.
Go
Have
ahead.
you
I'm
seen
sorry.
any of have you seen any red stuff flying, you know, or something wrong?
Professor says you can't get any more diverse lingo than Paul and Doug. You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
And go with the rotation of the piece or the spinny bit. Don't try to go the opposite way. It'll get lost in for trouble. So I want to just go around here in this direction and just get slight wee lines in it because I'm going to go back over it again. And I'm trying to keep it in the center of the raised bit. I don't want to go too far to the edges if I can avoid it. Right, so we want to sort of cross over the original ones. And again, I haven't done this before, so it'll be a bit of an experiment to see if it works. Because texture and stuff is sort of try it and see, and if it doesn't work, then you don't do it anymore.
Or you change it and do it another way.
Yeah. So I'm just going around the wee bits that I think need to know a wee bit of dents in it.
Lucy said, sorry, was just reading a bedtime story. And Todd asked her, Lucy, were you reading to Andy? And Lucy said, only one story tonight. Oh, me.
Right. I think that'll do that. I want to sand that, take all the high bits off it. That's a dangerous bit away. So. So put this extraction on again. I'll give it a wee touch with a sander, not leaning too heavily on it because I'm not trying to take it away. I want to leave that just thinking the high points off. I'll just stop it and have a look. And we can go a wee bit more.
Lucy, dinosaurs in the supermarket. Is that the name of the story, or is that something that I'm supposed to figure out what it means?
I'm just going to put the lid in reverse here. Get the lines in the other direction. So there, that doesn't feel too bad. We'll go
Good
with that.
deal.
Right.
Oh, that was the story. The story was dinosaurs in the supermarket. That sounds like a fun story.
So I want to make more or less a cut line. Right. I'm happy a wee bit more there. If you go too far out to the edge, what I've noticed is you might have to go a wee bit deeper with your initial cut on the around the outside of the rim. You want to see it's just going over that a wee bit. So just so the only bit we're going to be go leafing will be this center bit. We're not doing this edge. We'll be cutting that away. So that's as far as I want to go with that until we get the bowl done. So now we're back to the bowl. Take the center out, sand it, finish it, and then we can put the gold leaf on, size on stuff on that. Let's leave that very sharp. Just felt that wasn't it? Just there. Okay, we'll start taking the center out of this. So that's me at the bottom of the screw hole. So I want to take my next cut down and stop them before I go any further and work on the side of the bowl. Oh, see what I mean? Yeah, you can just lose it and
Dale has said he speaks both Yankee and Texas Southern. I've heard both out of you, Dale. Sure have. Oh no. Lucy's now had soup potato, run, veggies, or run veggies run. So soup potato, run veggies run, put in her lap to read, I'm assuming. Be firm, Lucy. Be firm. Not one of the easiest things to do when your kids want to be read to. Excuse me.
and you want to keep an eye on your wall thickness too. Remember, you've already done the outside, so you want to be careful, or you'll have a nice hole through the side. So we'll take some more of this down and then try and get some of that away. Then let me get down a wee bit further. There's still plenty of wood for the remove.
And a sweet potato night of the living veg. Someone's trying to get out of going to bed. Oh, Lucy, I know that ploy too well. Our son was bad about that.
Okay, we'll stop that and have a wee feel at the side here. Right, I'm fairly near to where I want to be there at this point. So I need to take this wall down here. There's plenty of timber there. So we're just going to slightly undercut in here. So I need to get right round. So I'm just going to move the camera to get my elbow round a wee bit. Pick this cut up. So you want to point the gouge on the direction you're going. So we're going straight in. I'll start to sweep it round as you come round. Just too much timber there. So just come back a wee bit and take another cut. Just want to give it another wee feel to see what it's like. Yeah, I think we'll get another wee undercut of that just to give it a wee bit more. Taking less timber this time, trying to get the sweep round the bottom of the curve. Okay, let's see what that's like. Yeah, that's where I want to be. So we'll take the rest of this out of the center and we'll finish that off with a round nose scraper.
Oh, me. Lucy and Todd talking about Super Potato being a superhero, and Lucy said other books that are good is The Dinosaur That Pooped. Said that man has a lot to answer for. Ah.
So I'm just going to check my depth here with my very expensive depth finder. And that's more or less where I want to be. Once we take that bit away, that's more or less the bottom finished off my bowl. So I'm going to use my round nose scraper. It's not negative rake. So anytime you're using a scraper, you want to raise the tool rest and you want to be lifting the handle up so the tool is going down. So we want to work around this corner here first. Just stop it and have a look. You can see how fine the shavings are. Nice sharp tool. You'll get nice clean shavings. Just a wee line. So I'm just having to lift the gouge off at an angle here to get right into that where it's undercutting the rim here slightly. Because I just couldn't get that wee line away with the angle that was at. And that looks very clean. Very little tear out on the end grain. I could probably take another wee cut off that. Maybe leave it. You know, might tempt fate. You know, it's all right. It'll sand. So I want to take the rest of this away. And usually a center bit's a hard bit to get it right, because you're always left with a wee dimple or a pimple in the middle, no matter what way you do it. And that's not too bad, Paul. I just run just right over that. Happy enough with that. We'll get that sanded.
Professor's talking about he's got twin daughters that are currently on Baby Fin and Bluey, and it's painful. Count your lucky stars you don't still have the Wiggles. They were a group out of Australia.
The Wiggle.
That, yeah, they started doing children's shows, and it's pretty. It was pretty incredible. Norman Greenwell has just joined us. Hello, Norman.
Hi, Norman.
Let's see.
But he just died.
What was the other one? There was the Wiggles. They were pretty painful. And some people still like Barney. I never could stand Barney.
Well, we have the Teletubbies.
Yes. We had them. They're pretty awful.
Just checking the end grain to see if there's any marks on it, and there's not. So that was 120, 180.
Todd said the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Sometimes they were a little tough to manage. Chris Charlton agrees with me. Barney was excruciating. You're right. They were terrible, or he was terrible. Uh, uh.
Just had to go back to really grit there. A real line there coming right through the middle. It just Didn't notice it with all the sanding was around it, but I got it. So I'll just go back to the 120 again. Get a fresh piece of sandpaper. I think the edge of the sanding disc hit it when I was going around the corner. I made a wee mark in it. There's no marks now. So 180, let's see. All right, 180.
Hmm.
240.
Brian mentions Zippy and Bungle. That's not one I've ever heard of.
Rainbow.
Or where was that other one?
You had George and you had Jeffrey. I know all the names. My grandchildren watch them.
Yeah, Topsy and Tim. It's one I'm not familiar with either.
No, I don't know that one. So last 400, and then I'll just pan around the wee bit of the rim by hand.
Todd asked if I remember Romper Room. Heavens, yes. I was a Romper
Yes,
Room kid.
Romper Room.
Yeah. That was where I learned to overeat. Yeah, they made a big deal out of being a clean plater. And so I just got it in my head I had to clean my plate. Didn't matter how full I was. All because of Romper Room.
And just that we edge, just knocking that sharp end off that, because if it's straight yet.
Yeah, instead of being animated, Romper Room was real life, real people. You could even be on air if your
Yeah,
parents
my
could
cousin
afford to
was on
take
it.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my cousin was on it.
Some of you may remember, especially you all in the States, Captain Kangaroo. He was one of my, oh my goodness.
I don't think that was really over here, Doug. I've heard of it, but
May
I've
not have
never
been.
seen it.
May not have been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a real life early morning show for children back when I was a child. Captain Kangaroo, I forget what his profession was before he started that show, but he had Mr. Green Jeans that did all the gardening around the place, and he had some animal friends like Mr. Moose,
Well, you must have
which was a
watched a whole
puppet.
lot of it. You know all the names.
Oh yeah. That predated by a good ways. It predated Sesame Street,
Yeah,
which again was more. They were real life, but also Muppets as well. In fact, that was the start of the Muppets. Yeah, Brian said the only kangaroo we had was Skippy, and see,
yep, Skippy.
Skippy the kangaroo was over here too. Not as much, not as popular. Yeah, Captain
Okay, so
Kangaroo.
that's it sanded. So we'll find the size now. I think I put it away again yesterday. I thought I turned that off. No. Oh. Da-da. So the last bottle I had of this went hard for some reason. You remember that, Doug? I went to use it one night, and for
Oh yeah, yeah. It was dried
the
up.
it was dried up for the chameleon flakes. So I'll just give this a. So this is acrylic metal leaf size. I believe it's water based. Right. So I need a paintbrush. Need a paintbrush.
Now here's one. Malcolm says the Thunderbirds were go, and I think what you are calling Thunderbirds and what we call the Thunderbirds are two different things. Over here, the Thunderbirds are a Navy airplane group that does the air shows and whatnot.
Okay, so we're just gonna paint this on. I'm not worried about the edge because we can clean that up afterwards. Just making sure I get right on the edge and in all the wee grooves. So I don't know what way this is going to work, but we'll find out together. I've tried it the plain way, and I made a mess of it. Never done gold leaf before. It started flying all over the place, and it wouldn't stay still for me. I think I was breathing too hard, and a slight wee breeze will carry it off the brush. But it dries right and quick. That's what I noticed yesterday. It dried very quick.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the problems I had, trying to get it to stick where I wanted it. There and then it dried up. But it covered the piece, but I rubbed it too hard when I initially put the gold leaf on, and it sort of left marks on it, which you can clearly see in the piece. So just getting around the inside of that rim. We're going to always sand that again because we haven't finished the inside yet. But I wanted to do most of the turning of it and then work on this bit. You can see all the different angles. The thing with the marks in it. So one of the things I did yesterday, I didn't do here, was I sealed the outside of this with sand sealer. I haven't done it this time because I forgot. I just forgot about it, but I don't think it makes any difference. Maybe somebody that uses gold leaf could tell me. No, yes, whatever way it works. I got that stuff off eBay or no, Amazon way before Christmas, and there were 3 packs came. I have copper, of gold, and of silver.
Mm-hmm.
So, what color would you like to see, guys? Would you like to see the copper, or the silver, or the gold? Or just leave it up to me.
I don't see anybody jumping in with suggestions just yet.
Give it time. Give it time. Right, I think that'll do that. It's had 2 coats. And
Matt says copper.
copper, yeah.
Lucy
Copper
says
looked good.
copper or silver. Yeah, the copper does look good.
It did look good when I done it. It's just I made a mess of it. by rubbing
I
it
think
too
on,
hard.
I think on this wood, the copper is probably going to look the best.
Right.
Brian says your choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really is your choice when it comes right down to it. Doesn't matter
So
what anybody says.
there's our copper. Nice
Hmm.
stuff. Uh,
And the only reason I say the copper might look best on this wood is because the wood is light. Copper is the darker of the three colors. So
yeah. I've never seen anybody use the copper gold leaf. So I'm not going to show. I was going to show you that one I done yesterday, but no, that's taken away from this. So uh, where's my brush? I went out and bought myself one of these.
hmm you raided your wife's makeup cabinet. That's what you did.
No, I bought this one yesterday, and I had to wait for the women to walk past in the shop before I lifted it,
There you go.
in case they thought I was what are you doing with a makeup brush? So what I done yesterday was cut uh, strips of this. I don't know if it's right or not, but trying to lift the whole lot at once and put it on, just wanted to fly all over the place, and
hmm
so I decided to cut it into strips and then trying to lift it up with a piece of card that's underneath it. See if I can separate that now. Uh, uh, it doesn't want to stick the brush. Yeah, it just wants to float away. And this is the problem I had yesterday. You don't touch it and it breaks up and it starts flying all over the place.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. So Brian has confirmed he is doing a live this Thursday and has a premiere later this evening. So that's great.
Oh, see,
It
that
wants to take off, doesn't it?
it just wanted before I got touching it with a brush, it just broke, and the other half went one way, and the other half went one another way. So, that brush is not firm enough for that. I should have got the other one. There was 3 different. I want to say options in this thing. One was for finishing. This was a finishing one, and the other one below that was a makeup, putting on one, and the one before that if you had really rough skin. Well, that's what I'm thinking it was. You know, let's see if I can get a better brush. I was using this wee
You,
one
you
yesterday.
might try you might try dabbing it in instead of
Yeah,
brushing it, at least to get it stuck. Once it's stuck, then you can brush it.
yeah. Well, I see I'm using this wee brush this time, and mm, trying to fill in the wee bits that I missed.
Having You're having a couple of suggestions to lightly brush your cheek with the brush before lifting the leaf. Um,
Right, and create a wee bit of uh, friction. I was going to say I could rub my hair, but I have no hair. Only
no,
on the
you just
back.
rub it on your face. I think what it does is picks up just the slightest a bit of oil onto the brush, and that helps the leaf stick to it a little better, so you can get it on the size.
The problem is getting it from the paper up to the piece. Like it just, oh, no, for Christ's sake. May as well pick it up with my fingers. It just wants to fly and turn. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
managed to get that bit better. Uh, so I'm just back to cutting strips of it again and trying to really sharp
Yeah.
blade.
Yeah. Terry and
Uh,
Brian are both saying static is good. So, yeah, just a little static.
just an understanding. I'll fill it on the bits of mist in a wee minute. Concentrate on the bigger pieces. I think this is worse than the chameleon flakes. So it is. This is really, really thin. It just, you don't touch it at all. It just wants to break. Oh, it's doing all sorts of backflips here on me. See, at this stage yesterday, I was rubbing it with a brush really rigorously,
Mm-hmm. Right.
and I rubbed it too hard, and I started getting marks in it. I was trying to fill on the wee bits in it, it missed, and I was having a hard time. And what you don't want to do is go back over with the size again. I found that out. Uh, it's not a good thing. Right, let's see. Where am I? There's a wee bit there. Cut this in a couple of bits. See, where's that bit of card? I'm using this wee bit of card to separate those. Try and lift them up. So there's a bit there. Oh, see, for freak's sake. That's okay. I got that bit. Couple of bits. See, this here bit is all patchy. And there's a bit there. That's.
Jennifer has reminded everybody do not forget the thumbs up for Paul. It does make a big difference in the analytics for the channel and how YouTube treats it. The other thing to do is after Paul has completed the demo today, wait for it to end and then come back in and in the comment section, put a comment. Just say hello or beautiful gilding or whatever. You don't have to say much. Just put something in the comment section, and that will really help as well. So
Still a couple of wee spots here if it's missed. There's
yeah,
one.
Brian makes a really good point. If you're using real gold leaf, that once you're done, you can do a gentle burnish on it.
Yeah, well, this is not
But
the real gold leaf. This is the cheap stuff.
I was going to say the cheap stuff, you can't do that. It just doesn't take it. It doesn't like to be burnished.
I didn't want to get the
So,
good stuff until I tried this out. Maybe the better stuff would be the ideal to start with because you know what way it's going to react with everything when you're putting it
well,
on. You
not
know.
necessarily. It can be a little persnickety as well. Wasn't too long ago I heard somebody say that they liked the cheap stuff better than the real stuff. They could
Well,
work with it better.
I
At
think
least
this
it's
stuff's
different.
all right.
Yeah, it's just different. You have real gold flake or metal flake, then you have this kind of stuff. Um, then there are chameleon powders and flakes of various types. It's just it's all different. I'm still learning the chameleon powders. I've got this bowl I'm looking at right now. I've redone it. I did it originally on live, and I've redone it twice now.
Right, I think
Uh,
that's it all covered. put these out of the way and give this a good brushing to see if it. Put these out of the way first.
Rob said he shook out a tea towel. He shook a tea towel out the other night with gold leaf on it and covered a mouse that sat outside his garage. Oh, that's good, Rob. Real good.
Right. And there's a wee bit there missed. Where'd it go now? I seen it a minute ago. There. There's loads of wee bits sitting on my board here. I think it's still a bit missing that just there. Probably the textureness is not the way to go. And saying that, it seems to be covering it okay, but right, okay. That looks all right. That's it all covered. I'm not going to do too much more out of it because that's what I done yesterday, and I ended up marking it all. So we'll give it a whoosh with the finishing brush. We'll take that away. Give it a wee spin. It's all floating all over the place.
It'll be floating on a week.
There's a couple of wee spots. Just noticed there. Let's see.
Karsten Pedersen is in. Hello, Karsten. Glad to have you.
A wee bit off the floor. You have to get it down at the angle of the marks you put in to see if we got that wee bit. And when you turn it around, you see another wee bit you missed. But I'm not going to let it go at that, right? We're going to get this finished up. So we'll tidy up the two ends first. And then we'll sand that wee bit. So I'm just going to nice clean cut line. The same on the inside. Did I get it all? Yeah, that just needs a wee bit of sanding around the outside of that. So
very careful sanding.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to use 400 on the outside to take this over.
Okay, right.
If it's on the outside of the bowl. Oh, that's warm. Just check the outside of that. There's still a wee bit. Right, just the inside of that now. See if I got it all. It seems to have got it all. Right, we'll just put. So we'll never put any Yorkshire grit on that. So we'll do that now and the inside of it, and finish that, and then that just leaves a wee bit of waxing. Doesn't need a whole lot.
Cap said that grain on the inside formed a lovely pattern. I agree. It's very nice.
Turn the speed down a bit. Just work that into that. Just try and get the edge of where we fill it here.
When I started watching all these live videos and whatnot, I had never heard of abrasive paste before, and
Yeah.
kept thinking, why? That seems like a lot of extra work. And then finally, I guess it was Wayne that talked me into just his using it and telling of the benefits and whatnot. It convinced me that I needed to at least try it, so I did.
Well, I think
And
it makes a difference to
yes, it
your
does. It
finishing
makes a big difference.
if you do it properly.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's the key right there, Paul, using it properly. I do see some folks every once in a while who don't use it properly. Um, the lathe is running 700-800 RPMs, and when they apply it, they don't even turn the lathe off to apply it. And I think that's an important step. Turn the lathe off, apply it by hand, and then start slow and work your way up with it. Really seems to make a difference.
We taste the wax.
Andy has just put a bowl of the best ever pork scratchings in front of Lucy, and just reminds me I got to get a butt, a Boston butt, seasoned up tonight so it can marinate overnight, and I'll put it in the smoker tomorrow.
What's a Boston butt?
It's actually the shoulder of the pig, but they call it the butt. It's what most pulled pork is made out of, is that shoulder.
Right.
Great piece of meat.
So I'll give it a second, and then we'll buff that up, and I think I'll call it quits. Right.
You've done well with it. This is a nice piece.
I just wanted to try a wee bit of texture to see what way it would look.
Yeah.
It does work well with the communion flakes when you're doing stuff like that, but I never tried it with that gold leaf on it.
It looks like it did really well.
And I think the timber brings that copper out well too. And it's the right color for it. I think if it had been a lighter color wood, the copper might be too dark for it. Might be better with the gold, or maybe the silver. But I'm going to try the silver maybe tomorrow and see what it's like. And then I'm going to put them back in the drawer for another couple of months. as you do, you know.
Why, sure.
Just get the outside of that. A quick buff up too. Okay, so I think that's more or less it. Uh, let's get
Mm,
it off and see what
looks
it.
nice. Looks nice.
It looks not too bad. I'm happy with it. I don't. I think it looks all right.
I like the
You know,
copper.
and that's the back and the foot. I don't normally do a recess, so normally I would just do a tanning and take it away and leave a nice flat bottom of it. But uh, if you leave a nice foot, it gives you the impression if the bowl's floating on the table, it gives you a wee
Mm,
shadow line
yes,
underneath, you know. So
absolutely.
there's a there's an what there's always an if you do that, if you don't do that, you know what's going to be, be looking the best on it. There you are, guys. A piece of beech with a bit of texture and a wee bit of copper gold leaf uh, on it, and it's nice green on that too. That or the beech.
Very nice. Getting some good compliments. Nice job. Very nice.
Oh,
Looks
I'll
very good.
bring,
Beautiful.
bring you back in, and I can change cameras. Oh, there. So
Cracker job. Looks
there you are,
great.
guys.
Great job. Yeah, lots of good compliments. It's a beautiful bowl.
It's something different. I haven't done that before, and I just wanted to try it and see what it looked like. And I think the more you do of it, you better you get at it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like
Mm-hmm.
everything you do. You know, but there you are, guys. That's another wee idea. Maybe some of you like to try. You know,
Lovely. Lovely.
and I don't think that gold leaf I bought was there. I think it was £12 for 3 packets, and there's 30 pieces in each.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that
That
was
sounds
from
like a good enough price.
on Amazon. Amazon, I got that, and a big stamp on it from China, like you know where it's coming from. Anyway, it's always from
Mm,
China.
yeah.
You know,
To get
but
those good prices, usually.
yeah, there you are. I'm cooking here, so I am. I've got my heating going, and it's blowing this way towards me. Usually,
Ah.
I have this one behind me going,
Mm-hmm.
but I bought myself another uh, one of these diesel heaters, so I've got
Okay.
two in the workshop because I found this part of the shop was always cold, so
Ah.
I have two.
Okay. Very good.
Uh, and I got it. It was on offer, so I jumped at it. I got it for 60 quid.
There you go. There you
You know,
go.
when I bought the first one, it was over £120. I paid for the first one, you know,
Mm.
but £60, I wasn't going to say no. I'll have that,
Right.
please.
Right.
You know.
Sure.
So there you are, guys. Another nice wee piece. I'll let the dry overnight and see what it's like. And I'm gonna always put another wee taste of uh, stuff off on that. I'll probably use the buffing wheel just to buff the back of that up. And I don't think I'll put anything. Uh, has anybody had any experience with putting lacquer over gold leaf? Does it work?
I don't. I've never done gold leaf, so I couldn't say.
I,
I put
I,
like lacquer over the chameleon flakes and powders.
yeah, I know when you put them.
Powders, not the
I
flakes.
know
Powders.
Emma says when you put the chameleon flakes powders, if you put it over, it sort of tones it down a wee bit. She did say that in her
Yeah, I
demo.
remember she said that, but if you don't, to me, it's just so soft. It won't hold up.
Yeah,
So it
you want
needs
something
something
to
over
hold
it.
it in. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's what I think. But on a
But now
piece
the
like that,
gold
there,
leaf, I don't know.
i-
I don't know.
it's going to be a decorative piece. It's not going to be a functional piece.
Right,
So
right.
it's not going to get a lot of handle in it. For people to take the whole leaf off it. But I was just maybe thinking I would just seal it over, and uh,
Yeah.
that would stay there.
Terry says a very thin spray that's all, or it will dull down. Professor says
Yeah.
you can get leaf varnish that's water based. Paul
Yeah.
says yes, lacquer will work.
Right.
Brian has a 9:30 premiere, so he's off getting ready for that, I'm sure.
Okay. Okay, guys. I'm gonna say cheerio, and Doug will say cheerio, and then I can
Cheerio!
get out of the hothouse. It's in boiling.
All right.
Right,
Good night,
guys.
everybody. Hope to see you tomorrow.
I'll see you all next week, and hopefully we'll get some turn done, and you never know what I'll do next week. All right. See you then. Bye.
Bye bye.